Sam here from Sheridan Computers. In this video, I want to walk through how to set up an IPsec site-to-site VPN using pfSense. Now, I've done a video on this a few months back, and it's got quite a lot of attention. And there's a much easier way to do it. As of pfSense 2.4.4, I believe, we have the ability to create routed IPsec tunnels. So, what do I mean by that? Let me show you. So this is my previous video. On the previous video, we've shown setting up the phase 1, as you do. You've obviously got to set up phase 1 and then your phase 2 up. So we set the phase 1 up. The procedure is exactly the same for doing it the way I'm about to show you. But then we've got our LAN that we sent across in a phase 2, and then we have a different subnet. And then as you're adding other subnets, we'd have to keep creating phase 2 entries, and it's a real pain to manage, to be honest. And there's a much easier way. Take a look at this. So this is a new way to do it, and this is using a /30 subnet. So what we've done here is we've created a single phase 2 entry, and the mode you'll notice is set to VTI, and this is what I mean is available, I believe, as of 2.4.4, I think that is. So we've got /30, so this is 10.6.106.2, and the remote end is 10.6.106.1. Now, with that, there's absolutely no need to create multiple phase 2 entries. We just create the one phase 2 entry for it. And manage everything through the routing tables, basically. Well, let me show you what I mean. So as we go into the routing table, we can see from the gateways, it automatically creates an extra gateway for you. So this can be used for anything that's policy-based routing or requiring a gateway or anything like that. And if we look at the static routes, you'll notice I've got 10.1.8.0, and I'm sending it straight through, straight over our IPsec. So that's pretty much a much easier way to manage it. Now, there are add-ons that you can do, so you can do it through BGP or whichever way you want. But simply doing this, if I wanted to add another 10 subnets, I'd just add them to the routing table, and I wouldn't actually mess around with the IPsec tunnels at all. So I'm going to walk through and show you how to do that. Before I do, if you'd like to hire us, head across to our website at sheridan.co.uk and click on that Hire Us button. We are available for any networking projects, not just pfSense. If you find this video useful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. If you hit that notifications icon, you'll receive notifications of any new videos as they are released. So I'm going to walk through, and we might as well do this from scratch. I know I've explained how we do it, so you don't need to watch the rest of the video if you get the gist of it. If not, let's go ahead and show you how to do this. Okay, so we've killed the VPN configuration, so we're going to go ahead and set this up. So if we go to VPN, IPsec, you'll notice I've got nothing here at the moment, so we're going to go ahead and create a new phase 1 entry. So the important thing here is that both ends match. If both ends don't match, you're going to find yourself having problems. We need to set the IKE version, so we're going to use version 2. Now, it does work with both version 1 and version 2. My internet protocol, I'm just going to leave it IPv4. The interface on this, I'm going to change it to OP2. Let's see, I'll go an interface on this one. So remote gateway is going to be the IP address of the opposite system that we're connecting to. So paste that in. Put a description in if you want. The next thing is to set the proposal stage. So we want mutual PSK. I'm going to use my IP address and peer IP address. Now this will only work if you've got static IP addresses, so I'm using dynamic here, but it will break when your IP address changes. So if you're going to do this, you need to make sure both ends have the same IP address, otherwise you're going to have to change the identifier. And we need to generate a pre-shared key. So this is the key that we're basically going to use for both ends. Let me just copy that real quick. So we've generated our key. The next stage is to set the phase 1 proposal. So I'm going to use AES 256.256.14. That's pretty much all we need to change. So I'll go ahead and apply those changes. And now from the other side, we're going to do the same again. So you'll notice with no gateways, I've wiped them out. So VPN, IPsec, and we want to create the same phase 1. Like I said, you need to make sure these match. The most common problems that I see is that people have different settings here, and they need to be exactly the same at both ends. So IK version 2 is what we use. We use IPv version 4. Interface is the 1, which is obviously a different interface for this, but it doesn't matter. We're going to put the IP address in that we want. So this is the IP address of the other side. So I'm just going to put demo. So again, proposal, mutual PSK. I'm using IP addresses, and I want that same key that we had, that we generated from before. So we're going to stick that in there. Once we've done that, we need to set the encryption proposal again. So AES, I had it on 256.256 with a DH group of 14. And that's it. We can leave them as default. Apply the changes. Now, if we go to related status, and I hit connect VPN, we're not connected. There we are, we're up. Right, so at that stage, we have created our phase 1. I'm going to disconnect this. Disconnect this. So now we need to go ahead and create our phase 2. So in order to do that, IPsec, show entries. So you'll see we've got no entries in here. And I'm going to do, in fact, I'll start from the other side first. So VPN, IPsec, entries, and I'm going to do add phase 2. So this is a part that's a bit different from the other video. It's not terribly different. We change it to rooted VTI. Now this is what I mentioned. I don't think this option is available prior to 2.4.4. So if we change that to rooted VPI, I want to change it to network. Now this is, I mentioned, we're going to create the /30 subnet. So for this, I'm going to do 10.6.106.1, and I'm going to give it a /30. And for the remote network, I'm going to do 10.6.106.2. So 10.6.106.1 being this side, being a /30. Set the type to network. The other side, just going to set to address, and leave that the remote IP address. Now, leaving it that way, it will work the gateway and everything out itself. We need encryption algorithms. So I'm going to set this to AES256. Again, it's your preference on that. We're going to leave the hash algorithm to SHA256 and the group to 14. That's fine. Save that. Apply those changes. So we've created the phase 2 from here. So now we need to create the phase 2 at the other side. So let's go ahead and add phase 2. Now again, these settings need to match. We're going to set this to rooted VTI. This is going to be the network. Now on the other side, I set it to 10.6.106.1. So this is going to be 10.6.106.2. I'm going to set it to a 30 subnet. And the remote needs to be 10.1.106.1. Sorry, my mistake. 10.6.106.1. To make sure you get these right. And now, again, for the proposal, I'm going to set it exactly the same. So it was as the other side. 256, SHA256, group 14. That's all fine. Now you'll notice I've not actually filled any of these automatically pinged hosts. You've no need to, because you're only creating a /30. It'll be able to figure all this out itself. Now we go ahead, we apply those changes. And we want to check that they are exactly the same. So we can see we've got for the phase 1, AS256, SHA256 with a DH group 14. I know I keep going over these. You need to make sure they match at both ends. So we'll look at the phase 2. We've got mode VTI, and then we've got 10.6.106.2/30. We've obviously .1 being the remote, since it's the only one we can have. And then we've got the AS256 and SHA256. Let's check the other side. Show entries. So again, we've got AS256, SHA256, DH group 14. On this side, we've got 10.6.106.1/30 with the remote subnet, obviously being the over IP address. So now we've done that, we can go ahead and go into related status. And as you can see, it's connected straight away. And under the child entries, you can see we've got packets coming in and we've got packets going out already. Right, so at that stage, with that done, the next part is to create the interface assignments. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. So interfaces, assignments. Basically, we'll have this. So you can see we've got IPsec 1000. So we're going to go ahead and add that. Now, you don't need to configure these interfaces. In fact, I don't think there's much you can configure in them. There used to be, but I think they've changed that now. So we're going to add that in. And then you'll notice it's come from opt 9, so I'm going to go in and change this. Yeah, so they have changed this. So they did have the drop downs here, so you could set the IP address and stuff, which would just break it, so they've removed that. So we'll give it a proper name. So I'm just going to call it IPsec VTI, and enable the interface. That's pretty much all you need to do. Give it a name that you can identify it by and enable the interface. Now, the interface has to be enabled, obviously, for the gateways and stuff to appear. So apply the changes. And again, on the other side, we need to create an interface assignment for it. So we're going to interface assignments, and you'll see here I have this one. It's IPsec 1. So we're going to go ahead and add that. And I'm going to change that to enable interface IPsec VTI. Go ahead and save it. Apply changes. And with that done, we're pretty much ready to go. So we can go into system routing, and you'll notice that we now have this gateway appeared. So we can now use that for policy routing, anything that requires a gateway, basically. So we'll go into static routes. And on this side, to check it's working, I'm going to go into system routing. We also have this gateway here. So we're going to static routes. Actually, before we do that, I suppose it's a good idea to test it. We can ping both ends, because you should be able to obviously ping both ends now. So if I go to diagnostics, ping, the other end was 10.106.6.2. Nope, 2. I'm going to go ahead and ping that. No, it's not. I'm lying. 10.6.106.2. And that's the other end. Now, if I ping that, we should get a response. Fingers crossed. Beautiful. So, obviously, we can ping the IP on the other side. Let me go and do this as well. So, diagnostics, ping. And in here, I'm going to put 10.6.106.1 was the other side. So, we're going to go ahead and ping that. Excellent. So we know our tunnel's working. So now we can go ahead and play with our routes. So let's go back into the static route. And on both sides. Right. One thing actually I missed from there because I've already done this previously is go to Firewall Rules. We need to go to IPsec. You're going to need to add a rule. So I've added basically IPv4, just allow anything. Now obviously you can restrict your subnets, and it's a good idea to do so for what actually is allowed to pass over that. So you don't get you won't get like a firewall rule for the VTI. You need for the phase 2, so you just do the firewall rule on the main IPsec. So we're allowing everything on there. Go back into routing, static routes. Right, so here we go again. This is where we go add, and for your gateway, select the gateway that we've just set up that appeared. Destination network, so on the other side it's going to be a /24. And the network on the other side is 10.1.8.0. So you can just put whatever other side LAN for description. Save that. And we'll apply those changes. So we basically just set the static route up of the subnet on the other side, which is 10.1.8.0 in my case. Not the /30, this is actual subnets on the other side of the VPN that you want to be able to access. So from the other side, I'm going to go and add a static route in here. Again, select the IPsec VTI that we set up. And the network on this side is 10.1.10.0. Again, it's a /24. Now, other side LAN, whatever description you want to give it. Apply changes. Now, on the other side, we also have another one that we set up for test purposes. We'll go through and show you this. So if we do add, and go 10.0.0.0, 24. Again, change it to that. Some other subnet on the other side. And then when you save that, so you'll see we've created 2 entries here. So first one being the LAN, I've set a VLAN up on the other side as well on 10.0.0.024. And that's what I mean by you don't have to go in and edit the IPsec. Once your tunnels, once your phase 1 set up, once your phase 2 set up, you're good, and you don't need to do anything further than that. So we should be able to ping something on the other side. So let me go ahead and try that. So ping. Which side am I on? So let's try and ping 10.1.10.1, I guess. And it's worked. So from this side, I can straight away ping the other side. And now let's try that the other way around. Diagnostics, ping, some on the other side. 10.0, 10.8.0. Not sorry. 10.1.8.1, I think it was. And straight away we can ping the subnet on the other side. that's how easy it is to do. Now, can we actually ping machines on the other side from machines on our network? Let's go ahead and try that. If I do ping 10.8.0.1, no, so we can't. Try it from this. So it's 10.1.8.1, sorry, my mistake. So ping 10.1.8.1. So yes, we can ping the router on the other side. I'm not sure if there's anything else on the other side that I can ping. Yes, so there's a computer on the other side, and I can ping that as well. So that shows that that is working. Now, let me SSH into that. So SSH 10.1.8.104. And go ahead and log into that. Right, so now I'm logged into a machine that's running Arch on the other side, just to show you that. So this is 10.1.8.104. So can we ping a machine on this side? Well, let me find out what my IP address is. So 10.1.10.108. Ping 10.1.10.108. And I can ping that as well. So obviously it's a much easier way of doing this. From this side, can I ping 10.0.0.240? Yes. So you can see how much easier that is. It has much less overhead. Actually, one thing I should mention is because it's the way it's set up, and we do have a gateway. Let me just head back over. On the firewall rules, we can route it by policies or anything we want. I can basically go add. So I can do pass interface. You've got your one interface, and then pass protocol any. So I can do destination match, network, and then you can put like 10.1. Which says this 10.0 24. And we can basically select the gateway. You'll see it appears here. So we can choose to send whatever we want across that way. Let's say the other one is your rules, like firewall rules, IPsec. So again, I've allowed everything on there, but you can restrict it down if you want. I hope you found this video useful. If you do, please like it and take the time to subscribe. I was basically setting this up for a client and came across the routed IPsec, and it was just so much easier to, because I'm handing this project off and I'm not managing it. It's just so much easier for them to just be able to add to the routing tables and do whatever they want, and they don't actually need to go into the IPsec tunnels and play with them and break it or anything like that. So I hope this video helps. I'll see you in the next one. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you would like to hire us, head across to our website at sheridan.co.uk, click on that Hire Us button, fill out the details on what you're looking for, and we'll get back to you. We are on Twitter, Facebook, so LinkedIn, so please take the time to follow us as well. I'll see you in the next video.